It is not uncommon for me to visit Orlando to max out the opportunity of being a Disney Vacation Club member. And so right now I am living it up. I'm out here in Bora Bora, Tahiti, or at least that's what Disney would have you believe, but I am having a blast. And every time I come out here, I always have the mindset of wanting to learn more about whatever market, especially housing market, it is in which I'm visiting. And so we've been coming out here for years. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that I'm committed to sharing the truth about what's happening in each and every housing market within the state of Florida. But again, we're not in Florida. We are in Tahiti. We are in Bora Bora. And I am just maxing out this opportunity to relax and chill and check out this. I don't even know what the hell this is. It's a spinning chair. I think they call it a birdcage chair. I don't exactly know. But if there's a cage, I certainly should be in it because I am a wild animal. But I'm definitely not an alligator or a snake, but I am in the area. And I'm sure haters are going to hate and they're going to tell me to put on a shirt, Chris, but I will. And again, this is not Chris, this is Albino Ken, which probably none of you get that joke because none of you watched that video, and that's okay. However, I'm in Disney, and Disney is a very unique place in that the culture and the value system that exists here typically is very different than most of the things that I believe in or agree with. Now, the one thing I absolutely do agree with is that I love having a good time with my family and my children and maxing out every opportunity there is. So I can get over a lot of woke nonsense that I don't believe in because my kids are far more important to me than some ideological perspective that I do or don't agree with. Now, you may say, Chris, you're a parent. How could you possibly say that? When push comes to shove, I can assure you that I have a very strong position in many things, and my kids are not confused about a damn thing, but I don't want to go into a deep dive here on that at all. I just find it quite interesting that in this particular incredibly nice and exclusive vacation club destination stay in Bora Bora, in Tahiti, of course, they would misappropriate, and by they, I of course mean Disney, and I know nobody wants to really look at the toilet, but I'm not going to show you the toilet. I just found this particular figurine to be horribly offensive, and I just can't take it anymore. And when I was a bit younger, I have been to Hawaii. I've traveled and visited and seen Maui and Molokai and Oahu, the Big Island. And I've met true, real, actual Polynesian people who I suspect are horribly offended by that figurine here in Disney. And normally when we come up to visit, even on vacation, I always carve out time to go meet with real estate professionals that have their pulse or their hand on the pulse of the market so I can learn more about what's happening from a boots on the ground perspective. I will often go and check out different communities, different housing projects, different new builds, new construction, etc. On this particular trip, I'm not doing any of that. This is just me talking and us having some fun here. So there's not going to be a deep dive into anything other than some of the things that I see that I just want to have fun talking about, because who doesn't want to have fun these days? Now, we're staying at the Polynesian, and yes, I have a cough. I do have a cold. In fact, I was just at the pool and I literally had to sprint to the room. And because all of these Bora Bora tiki huts look the same, I wasn't sure which room was mine. Now you may say, Chris, why don't you just remember what room number you're in? Well, we switched rooms. And so I'm going to need Mucinex, but I'm also going to need Imodium. So I wasn't 100% sure which room was ours because we switched rooms. And I'm trying each door. I'm basically like a psycho at this point because I'm about to crap my pants. And when I say I had the runs, yeah, I had the runs. I had to run and find a toilet as quickly as possible. And I'm not going to get gross with this, but eventually I found the right room and was able to relieve myself. But now I'm headed to the store to get the Imodium and the Mucinex and the COVID boosters that I desperately require, and or any other medicine that I might need. Preferably the old school Dayquil to help knock me out a little bit. All that being said, we're at the Polynesian and I want the full Polynesian experience. And I was denied it. And I'm not happy because everyone who comes to the Polynesian is supposed to get laid. And as a father, you could imagine how disturbing that fact is to me because my daughters are 10 and 8. But I didn't get laid. And I'll tell you right now, I wanted to. But the Polynesian came through like gangbusters and better late than never. But finally, I got laid. Ha ha, boom, boom. Dad joke. Let's go. So unlike most videos that I do where I go into a deep dive about housing market data and real estate markets and what's happening in the economy, this is just going to be me sharing some of the things that I've observed on this trip where I have fully disconnected and refused to do anything other than spend time with my family. And we've had some adventures. We've met some very interesting people. In fact, we ran into some celebrities that I didn't even know were celebrities. In fact, I had no clue who they were. But my daughters got starstruck and were completely blown away when they ran into the Peachy Babies slime owners, founders, or maybe they're just people who work there, I'm not sure. But whoever is on their YouTube channel is who my kids saw. And it was as if they had seen Elvis. I had never, or the Beatles, or if I saw Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. They went absolutely berserk. And thankfully, those folks were super cool because when my kids went up to them and introduced themselves, they could not have been more kind, gracious, nice, friendly. They posed for a selfie. My kids told them they were their biggest fans. And again, I had no idea who they were. I actually thought they were people we had met at the pool earlier, which goes to show you how clueless I was. But yeah, we ordered some food late night, and the DoorDash guy showed up in a timely fashion, which was great. We were standing there waiting for him to arrive. He handed us the bag. I started to haul ass back to the room, and my kids turned around. At that point, they were essentially like zombies. They were completely exhausted, and it was a late night for them, at least. It was close to 11 o'clock, and they went from being completely, I guess, frustrated, annoyed, exhausted, whatever, wanting to go back to the room, to having spotted these celebrities, essentially Elvis to them, and then they just exploded with excitement. And I was really proud of them because they had the courage to go up to them, introduce themselves, ask for a selfie, have a conversation. I was really proud that they were able to step through their fear, and they were intimidated. They were a little bit nervous, but they got past it. They pushed through it, and they ended up having a really cool experience with these incredibly nice people at Peachy Babies. So if you have kids and your kids are in slime or into slime, well then check out Peachy Baby Slime on YouTube or wherever, and tell them I sent you. And no, I'm not a brand ambassador or an affiliate marketer or any of those things. They're just really nice folks. And the slime, I'm told, is top of the top of the food chain. It's the best of the best. But I wouldn't know the difference between good slime, bad slime, or anything in between. The only slime I'm dealing with right now is whatever is stuck in my lungs, and that's why I'm going to get some medicine right now. And the unfortunate reality is I did not consult the map, and this is a massive resort So I'm walking around trying to find my way to the parking lot, but truthfully, I have no idea where I'm at. And the pool that's behind me, which I don't know if you can see too well because the sun is so bright. I'll flip this around. This pool is not the main pool. It's a satellite pool, and I didn't even know it was here. The only thing I'm certain of is my vehicle is not there. But I'm on the path. I'm following the yellow brick road, or maybe it's not yellow brick. Maybe it's just gray, dirty, stamped concrete. But nonetheless, I'm following the path to Hawaii, or to the parking lot, and I'll eventually get to where I'm going because I desperately require medicine. But because I happen to be walking by it, and I think I'm hidden enough to where my children will not see me, but that's the main pool. There's an incredible water slide. It's actually really cool. And there's a kids playground over there, which is unbelievable. And they say it's for kids, and you're not supposed to be over a certain height to use it. However, I broke that rule too and played on that yesterday with my kids, which was a tremendous amount of fun. But everybody knows I am a habitual line stepper, and I'm certainly not going to follow rules that are ridiculous. But you can see in the background there's a putting green, and that's pretty awesome too. And as I walk through the lobby, in order to get to my vehicle, you'll notice that there's all types of shops, all types of places for you to spend your money. However, unfortunately, the store that they have does not have any of the things that I need. So the Imodium that I require desperately, and potentially the Mucinex or the Dayquil or whatever kind of decongestant I could find, none of that is for sale there. However, if you'd like to buy a water bottle marked up 300%, well, you definitely want to shop here at the Polynesian. But there's Old Glory flying in at half mast. And who doesn't love America, and who's not proud to be an American? Because I know for certain, I sure am. And as much as I've heard about the railroad union strike and this, that, and the other thing, I am pleased to say that that monorail, at least since I've been here, has been 100% on time and consistent, and fully staffed and employed. So I might not have a solution for any particular labor contract dispute, but I do know that if any of these people who are unable to come to terms need to or want a connection with the folks at the monorail system, please reach out, because I will connect you right away. And predictably, I'm not even out of the parking lot yet. I just got to my vehicle, and I've already received phone calls from my daughters wanting to know where the hell I'm at, because I should be with them at all times. Now, I realize I'm not going to get a cookie for actually adhering to what I said I would do in terms of not working on this trip, but you have no idea how challenging it is for me not to get into action when I see different changes, different events happening, catalysts, if you will, leading indicators, if you will, that I see happening all around me. I have to put on narrow blinders in order to stay totally focused on just being on vacation. I suck at being on vacation, because as I drive here and I see things changing and I see developments and I know what's happening from other professionals who work this market, there are a million things that I'd like to talk about as it relates to home values in Kissimmee, in Orlando, the rental market that exists in this hyper-local, or maybe I should say the more macro area of Orlando, the Orlando Metro. There are many things happening that actually catch my attention and I want to talk about. I'm just not going to do a deep dive into any of that today. We'll say, but if you want to know about any of that stuff, reach out at any point. I am happy to help you, just not today while I'm on vacation. because I do need to get back to what I said I would do, which of course is hang out with my kids. But when one gets the sour stomach situation that requires a Imodium or a double dose of Imodium immediately, and I don't want to disgust anybody and use the words, so I will just let you guess what it is. It rhymes with firea, but that's what I'm experiencing, especially after eating those wings yesterday. All that to the side, I really wish my friends Kevin 24/7 and Michelle Squirrel Tribe 2.0 were here with me, because there have been so many things that I've noticed that I'm just dying to talk to somebody about. And I always have great conversations with them. So if you want to check them out, please do. They are incredible content creators and they tell the truth. They share what's going on in real time. And they've really been going deep into relationship issues here recently that I've found quite valuable, quite entertaining, and I suspect that you will too. Where the hell am I going? No clue. But I'm going to keep my eyes on the road, and for those of you who want to hate and tell me that I'm not paying attention to the road enough, well, you go ahead and hate. For those of you who are going to call me a super spreader for coming here with the cold, you can hate too. And for those of you who think that I should just get the F out of Florida because my Yankee ass is no good, well, you can hate too. Everybody can hate, except me, because I love you all. But back to Disney, back to this resort, back to this, there you go, pal. You see, you got the right of way, my man, until I run you over, in which case I got a felony. But I'm not looking for a felony. I'm looking to talk, share with you what I experienced. So that being said, everybody knows Disney is woke. Everybody knows that's what it is. And I think the market is swinging in the other direction. The pendulum is changing. It's moving quickly, because Bud Light tried it and that went over like a fart in church. But more recently, Victoria's Secret, which has embraced the, I don't necessarily know that it's woke, but they certainly have embraced large women, which again, this is not a knock on large women. I love all women, big, small, tall, skinny, short, fat, whatever, perfect. I love you all. I love women. I've got 2 daughters. I love them. And it wouldn't matter if they were 4,000 pounds or 4 pounds. I would love them just the same. But that being said, Victoria's Secret, who my entire life, especially as an adolescent boy, I could not wait for the Victoria's Secret catalog to somehow be found somewhere. It was a great, it was a very welcome, exciting thing for me to hunt down and find, because honestly, at this point, I don't even know where I found them. But they featured very attractive women who wore very little clothes. And I'll say it differently. It's impossible to mess up TNA unless you go woke, unless you decide to mess up TNA. But everybody knows that in order to sell things, the easiest way to do so to a certain demographic is use sex to sell. Actually, I said that wrong. Use sex to sell. Said differently, said the right way. Sex sells, period. Everyone knows that. This is not something groundbreaking or anything I came up with. But it's a universal truth. Everybody knows that. And what did Victoria's Secret do? They went out there and they effed it up. They went out there and started embracing and started celebrating very different sized women. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. I'm not knocking anybody for their body weight or image or any of those things. I just know what sells. And I know what they were pushing over the last few years doesn't. Well, I bring it up because they got rid of it, because it doesn't work. They finally figured out, I talked about this in another video, the numbers don't lie. In fact, I talk about that all the time in all my videos. The numbers don't lie. People lie. People can manipulate. People can come up with their own narrative and sell you on it. But the numbers, the data does not lie. And what Victoria's Secret found is that they are losing money hand over fist. What Bud Light discovered is that they lost billions of dollars of market cap. What these woke companies have learned is that it is a loser with a capital L, or or maybe a capital F. Not capital F for fat, but capital F for failure. It does not work. So the pendulum is swinging back to what does work. And it can't happen soon enough. But nonetheless, I'm here at the Polynesian, although now I have no idea where I'm at because I'm not looking at my GPS. I'm looking for a Publix because I don't want to spend I don't want to buy a marked up water, or a 300% marked up water. I'm not interested in doing that. I'd rather just take the ride up the street and pay regular market price. But inflation is real, and it's even more real when you're on Disney campus, because whatever the inflation number is, multiply that by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%, and that's what you can expect to pay on Disney grounds. And yet, there are plenty of folks just like me that are happy to do it, just not for certain items. And again, I desperately require Imodium, or this video is gonna get real shitty quick. I can't stop with the dad jokes. Boom, boom. All right. So where was I going with this? So go woke, go broke. Victoria's Secret's bringing sexy back, and I'm staying at the Polynesian, and they're misappropriating the Polynesian culture by celebrating some, I don't even know what to call that figurine, but I'm horribly offended by it, and I hope everyone else is too, because being offended is definitely the right mindset to have at all times. Anything you can do to victimize yourself at the highest level is certainly the right choice. So let's celebrate that. Anyhow, I'm at this pool yesterday. We stayed up late. We met the Peachy Baby Slime people. Super nice people. Met a bunch of families from different parts from around the country. Really nice time. Really nice folks. Everybody's getting gouged senselessly to be there, but they're all happy to pay a premium to get what they want with their family and enjoy the experience. That being said, a few years ago, I did a video about, at least I think I did, I don't remember at this point, because I've probably got CTE or some sort of dementia or early Alzheimer's coming on, or maybe I just have a cold, I don't know. But a few years ago, while throwing a soft football in the pool with my children and kind of just lobbing it and not really doing anything offensive or dangerous, a 400-pound woman who did not look like she could swim aggressively came after me and told me that I am not allowed to use that in the pool. And I'll spare you the details because I think I've already covered this in a video before, but I complied. I went along with it, not because I wanted to, because it was the right choice for my kids, and I escaped getting thrown out at that point. But that's what happened a couple of years ago. This time was different. And although, I can't make this up, although I was not accosted by a large woman who cannot swim, who is in a lifeguard position, I did get to have a conversation with a bearded woman. Now, that was a lifeguard. I should put that out there. Bearded woman, that's a lifeguard. Now, I know that she's not a woman. I know that this is, and to be clear, I am not making fun of this or attacking this. I'm just stating an observation of fact. I'm there with my 10 and 8-year-old daughters, who I intentionally protect and try to insulate from the dangers of the world to the best of my ability, while also making sure they understand what the real world is. But as we're swimming in the pool and we're messing around, playing around, having a good time, I ended up in a conversation with this lifeguard and with my daughters. And the bearded lady might play well at Barnum and Bailey Circus. It might be great as a sideshow attraction. However, at the Polynesian, at Disney, I don't really expect to have a conversation with my kids about the woman who's not a woman, who has a beard, that's lifeguard. It's not something I want to expose my kids to at 10 and 8 and 10, or however old they are these days. But yet I got to have that experience, and you know what? I know better. I know where I'm going. It's not like I'm going to church. I'm going to the Polynesian Resort. I'm going to Disney. So I didn't get bent out of shape, and I didn't really say anything. However, this is the world that we live in. Right is wrong. Wrong is right. Black is white. White is black. Mortgage interest rates are going to 10%, and the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Or maybe it's not. Maybe this is just the new normal and everything's great. Maybe there is no financial consequence for running massive deficits and having massive inflation and having no liquidity and having no values or principles or systems and processes. Maybe this is the brave new world that we live in, and I'm just a dinosaur and have to get used to it. So you can tell my voice is shot. I'm sick, and I'm also lost, so I'm gonna cut this short so I can figure out where Publix is, so I don't have to pay $1,000 for some Imodium or some NyQuil or some Dayquil or some cyanide, so I can put myself out of my own misery, which of course is a joke. Don't do that. That is not a best practice. That is stupid, but I am not. So hope you enjoyed this video. If I can ever help in any way, please reach out. Check out my next video because I promise my voice will sound better. Check me out on Twitter, where I can never be censored.